and welcome to the sideboard one last time here at Grand Prix Atlanta. I am Nick Miller alongside our champion, Tom Martell. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a great run.
It was a lot of fun.
With the handshake, you get a little bit of hardware. You're no stranger to this, though.
I don't have this one yet, though, so I'm getting one of each. Every time they change the trophy, I come out and win a GP, so they should change it more often for me, and maybe I can keep winning.
We'll see if we can get that lined up. Of course, you already have one limited GP win under your belt before this in Sacramento.
Yep.
This format, pretty interesting. Everyone said you can't play green. You play green in your sealed deck and in your winning draft deck. Talk about the color and how you can actually win with it.
Sure, absolutely. So I mean, my sealed deck I think was pretty bad. I showed it to a bunch of people. No one was happy with it. I expected. I thought I'd be lucky to squeak into day 2 at X2. Thought I'd probably end up missing, but kind of things broke my way. Had some good, didn't really have any mana problems at all throughout the day, and managed to go 8-1. And then here in the top 8, I actually haven't really drafted green at all. I know some people on our team, it swings the pendulum, right? Everyone thinks it's so bad that no one drafts it. And so then it becomes draftable. Like, it probably supports like 1 or 2 draft players at a table, probably like 1.5. In this case, I managed to get some green cards that kind of played well together, put some pressure on my opponent. I don't think my deck was great, but it had some high power level and had pretty good mana, so I could splash some powerful effects like Royal Spout from other colors. Right,
you had all the colors, seems like you going on there. Talk about your draft. Take us through how your deck developed there in the top 8.
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, the draft was pretty challenging from my seat. To pick one, pack one, my choice was between Outnumber and Royal Spout. I'm not in love with Outnumber, and I think Royal Spout's one of the most powerful kind of uncommons in the set. I don't like taking a gold card, but I was pretty sure Owen would just not draft green. He's been on the record as being even more anti-green than I am, and he was feeding me, so I thought, okay, Royal Spout's great in kind of these green decks. You can just splash one of the 2 halves, and you always want to be 3 colors. So I took Royal Spout. I second picked Miststrider, the bounce guy, the blue bounce guy, which I don't love after first picking a Royal Spout, because you really want to be a Devoid Ingest deck for that card, but the pack was pretty weak. And then third picked a Snapping Gnarlid, third picked a Beast, the ally that makes mana. Fourth pick Snapping Gnarlid was off for the races in green. The deck kind of came together from there. I think Pack 1 could have gone a little better. I don't think I drafted Pack 1 very well, but I managed to make something work out of that.
Talk about your range here this weekend. You played a bunch of different strategies. You had a green-red deck, this 4-color deck you had in the final, and then you had the Devoid strategies as well. Today you went 3-0-3-0.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. This is a format that really rewards you for finding whatever's open and then pushing that linear as much as you can. So my first Devoid deck was a blue-black Devoid deck, great control deck, kind of everything you really want in your blue-black deck. And I first picked actually a Culling Drone out of a very weak pack, pick 1, pack 1, and then it sort of just fell in my lap. I got like a 5th pick Fathom Feeder in pack 1, which that card is very, very good. Should never go 5th, and I knew the colors were open. It kind of came together there. In the second draft, it was me, then Ben S, and then BBD. Feeding it in a row, and so I ended up going into blue-red, Ben went black-red, and then BBD was Grixis, and all 3 of us had just tremendous decks, which shows you kind of the depth and the power of these colors in this format. And I think it's just important to find out what's open. In that draft, the guy to my right took Kiora. It was green-blue, and he was like heavy green, so that kind of opened up the blue-red for me. It was mono-red after pack 1, and that deck really came together nicely.
Well, you definitely had some tough opponents, but of course the final is probably one of the toughest around.
Oh, sure.
Owen Tortenwall sitting across from you.
Yeah.
Talk about that finals match. You had to fight for your damage in that match.
Absolutely. Obviously Owen flooded out a lot in game 2. There's a critical turn where I bricked on an untapped land, when I Royal Spout his dragon. If I can hit him for 4 that turn, I think I'm going to win easily. When I don't get that damage, and I was actually really worried about how I was going to push that final damage through, Owen drew maybe 4 lands in a row, and I ripped that plummet I needed to kill his blocker, and so I was able to kind of squeak that game out. But his deck seemed tremendous. I sort of had Owen's number. I think I've really run well against him. I've beaten him a couple of times before this in matches where he never makes mistakes. Like he's one of the best players in the world. I think he's certainly better than I am right now. He's kind of held that level of play for years now. Where I think my play's kind of come off a little bit, but I've managed to. I think I played those games pretty well, and the cards were in my favor that time.
Well, it definitely looked great. You had a great weekend, got
Absolutely.
a trophy to go home. You missed your flight, but I think it's okay.
If I can miss a flight every GP and keep winning it, I'll gladly take that. So.
All right, well, congratulations one more
Thanks.
time.
Appreciate
I'm going to
it.
send it back to the booth with Cedric and Patrick.